Our mission is to inspire, educate, and motivate young people across the Caribbean. This is the Vision Seekers podcast, where views collide, founded by Amanda Webley and Shawala Richards during the COVID-19 pandemic. But VSP is more than two. We are a team dedicated to seeking out and presenting solutions to the problems that matter to you through open and honest conversations. Stay tuned.
Welcome to another episode of the Vision Seekers podcast. I am your host, Amanda Webley, and today we'll be discussing the legacy of reggae music. Today we'll talk about the roots of reggae, the evolution of reggae music, and the far-reaching impact of reggae music on culture across the world. Joining us today are two extra special guests who happen to be reggae musicians, but before we introduce them, I want to invite you guys to like and subscribe to our channel and turn on that notification below so you'll know when we have new episodes. So I'm going to ask our first guest to introduce themselves. Akosua, can you tell us your full name and a little bit about yourself?
There you go. Hi, I'm Akosua Aset. I'm a reggae artist, but I would say I used to be a reggae artist. I used to record and perform up until 2019. Ever since I've been focusing more on yoga. I'm a domestic yoga teacher. I've been certified in 2012 in Jamaica, actually, but I live in Germany. And yeah, I'm your cousin.
Right, guys. So this is my cousin. So our second guest, I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself now, Lloyd. Just give us your full name and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, greetings. Yeah, it's a Lloyd, Lloyd Palmer. That's my mom and father. Name Akinsanya, it's a Yoruba name, choosing name that represent you and the, Well, from Jamaica, living in Jamaica, yes, I'm a reggae practitioner, I would say, and I could even join next guest and say, it was one of the main feature, still is, but, I did step away and step into more, just sound, healthy, holistic sounds, and now I'm operating the sound bomb yard, and, creating natural instrument into sound healing, and such, But originally my band was, still is, I took a sabbatical from it, the Uprising Roots band, Yeah, the most authentic and organic roots music from the core, Yeah, that's who I am, recording artists, and I've released several tracks, touring artists too, and stuff like that,
You mentioned that you also do yoga.
Yeah, whenever, I can, I always do, I'm not a yogi of such, but whenever it's offered, it is good to have such yogi elements in my being, Yes, right.
All right, so let's start off with the discussion. Lloyd, can you tell us a little bit about what you know about the origin of reggae music? When did it start and how did reggae music come about? What do you know?
Origin. Well, according to the forefathers, it's in the 60s, coming out. That's how the music started out, and it's a continuation, of the great music that was before, because, it's all about culture influencing culture, So they were listening from New Orleans and Louisiana, and if you check, even the artist Fats Domino, the type of music they're playing is on the offbeat, so they incorporate such into it and, trying to replicate the music that they hear, That's how the founding fathers came interpretation of all the music that they were hearing, blended with their experience, and the spiritual element, the strong element within the music, I don't know if that's so much.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said it has a spiritual element to it. So what would you say reggae music means to you personally? If I was to ask what reggae music means to you personally, what does it mean?
Reggae music as the forefathers say it again, and as the mood, the mission statement of reggae, what them say is the heartbeat of the people. You know, it is life, it is liberty, and we say word sound is power. So it's liberation for me, and I know it is for other ones internationally, you know. It's yeah, man. It's a strong element. It is life, you know, it's movements in your life, you know. Yeah. Spreading that positive energy of what them say is love, you know. And one of the it spread is self-love, you know, as us other black people, you know, to love ourselves, you know, and rise above. That's the theme of reggae music, you know. Wake up and live, as the gong Honorable Robert Nesta Marley says, you know. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, Akosua, just to bring it into the conversation, what would you say reggae means to you? Would you say it's as a spiritual element as well in your life?
Yes, definitely. The spiritual element is there, but I would also say it's definitely a connection, for me, a connection to my heritage, as I am of Jamaican heritage. My parents are obviously Jamaican, but I was born somewhere else than Jamaica, and I was raised somewhere else than Jamaica. So, uh, reggae music was at some point in time, because growing up, being black in a white country, you need people and culture to identify with. So, what is very common and all over the world is one, hip hop music, and the other one is reggae music. So I started with hip hop music, and then after a while, I was like, but I can relate more to reggae because that's my heritage. So, that was at some point a conscious decision to dive into reggae music and to create reggae music, just to be able to connect to my heritage no matter where I am, and to be proud of where I'm from and what my people, my ancestors have created and are sharing with the world.
Right. So, what really started your journey into reggae music, creating your own reggae music? You listen to reggae music to connect with your culture, but why did you start writing and producing reggae?
Well, it really, for me, started with poetry.
Okay.
I used to write poetry, and then I got a little bit into dub poetry, and but I also always used to sing. So then eventually I started blending both elements with each other. And it was just a natural kind of occurrence.
Evolution. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I play instruments, but not passionately. I sing more passionately. So then I just got together with other musicians of different, like mostly some type of African heritage from Cameroon or other Caribbean places, or even Jamaica. And then we created music together with the background influence that we had. And so the first band that I was in, it was more like a just acoustic mix of African music and reggae music and poetry. And then the second band that I really got more, more exposure, touring and stuff, was, I mean, roots reggae kind of style. But that was heavy influence also by my partner, who I used to create with. So it was just I've always been someone who likes to, like, I'm a truth seeking spirit, and I always like to find the roots of everything. So it was natural for me to end up doing something that is connected to my roots.
Right. So, can you just let us know the name of your bands, the two bands that you're in? Could we
Yeah,
find you on
so
YouTube?
yeah, definitely. So the
Okay.
first band was Rising Thoughts with a sister from Cameroon. We both grew up in Germany and we found each other here. And we did also perform in Jamaica. I have to go back into my memory and try to remember where we performed, but we performed a couple times in Jamaica. And then later on with my ex-husband, the Pathites. So we would also perform in
Okay.
Jamaica, and then we would perform all over Europe. And probably, I think if you put in Rising Thoughts, you might find a one or two like a video of us. But the Pathites, we have a couple videos of it. So yeah.
Okay. So guys, check them out. The Pathites.
Sure.
So Lloyd, can you tell us about why you started writing reggae music, creating music of your own? How did
Yeah,
that come about?
so we're treading a very similar path, you know. This podcast is a mystic one. So I started out, writing poetry, dub poetry also, So
Okay.
yeah, I started writing, just experience, and then that part took me to like the band instrumentation, I know this theory from school days, started with the record and the melodica. And there's no
So
basic.
high school. You
Yes, I
said
just
school days, high
know
school?
basic. It's high school and William Need Memorial, it's the same school
Okay.
when they were Usain Bolt attended, I was like 10 years ahead
Oh.
of. Yeah, so the theory started then, but in terms of instrumentation, it started maybe like 5 years after I started the poetry, I got a melodica. So eventually we linked up with other musicians and we formed the band Uprising Roots, We have been together for over this 26 would be 10 years, But I took a sabbatical
Oh.
from them in 2016 still, So the unit isn't functional as it used to, But I started out, the dub poetry and instrumentation, playing the music, accompanying what they call backing band for a lot of artists, You know, I did some touring with Egyptian to some levels, And our band did a tour of Europe also in 2015, So we have been tried the route, Yeah, and the route has taken me now to mainly just holistic sound, as I say, sound healing. That's one of the main focuses me, right now. And sacred chanting, Yeah. I stepped away from this reggae vibration because I want to maintain the pure roots reggae, Yeah.
What do you mean by reggae? I haven't heard that term before.
Well, according to the history and the foundation, they say the word reggae came from streggae,
Oh.
And yeah, that's what some history said, And streggae wasn't a hope thing or, something really, wholesome, But
Oh.
also the music was going reggae. I don't know why they choose, but I think they invert the word and, put it as how it ought. Word sound is power. So if it's like down pressure, it's an oppression and it's really not pushing you up. So we
So
change it and
the rework the negative into a positive.
they rework it and invert it, it put some power into it and say reggae,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know that. You hear that, guys? So reggae to reggae. All right. So what do you hope to accomplish with your music,
Sister.
Lloyd? Yeah.
Accomplish. Self,
Yeah.
personally, knowing self and spreading a high vibration, connecting with souls and people internationally, and impacting people's life, Yeah, bring joy into one's life and also into our own lives, because we are the first one who tap into that creative space and say, well, we can bring it to the world and share this vibration, So it made me meet a lot of, friends, and being a musician is like, at times it can be like you're on a permanent vacation, Going places, And most of the time the experiences are healthy, and then when I check it, there can be no bad experience in life once you learn from it, and take what you must take from it, So it has bring me much joy, gratitude,
And
connecting and sharing.
fulfillment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So what about you, Akosua? What what did you hope to accomplish with your reggae music?
Um, well, just to really touch the hearts of people. I know that might sound very cliche, but that is with everything that I do, whether it's
Mhm.
music or yoga classes or yoga workshops. It's really to open the hearts and to touch the hearts of people. I mean, sometimes it's about sharing certain information that you might have that you put into the music and the lyrics. Um, but I think eventually the highest goal for me is always to be able to keep an open heart and to share that energy of an open heart with others. Um, because I think the world would definitely be a better place if we would all be more connected to our heart space. So yeah.
What would you say inspires you most in the reggae scene?
I thought about that question a lot, but it's hard for me to say because I mean, growing up, my parents would listen to a lot of Bob Marley, the Wailers, um, and to all other types of music that was, in the 90s and so. Um, and of course, that influenced me. And then contemporary artists also influenced me, to some extent, but um, I wouldn't say there is a artist that influenced me that I say, oh, I want to be like them, or
Mm,
just definitely artists who I like and who I love and who I love to listen to, but not necessarily someone where I say, oh, I want to be like them or I'm gonna try to do something the way they do. Not
yeah,
really, but um, at the same time, everything influences, everything that you see and
yeah.
experience. Um, so. Yeah, but I would say a lot of contemporary artists. I think that that wave of artists that came out around 2012, um, when I was also in Jamaica, when I spent a lot of time in Jamaica. And before that, like yeah, 2010, 2012, that time. I think I also met you once. Um,
Yes, I'm
Oh,
thinking about
yeah.
what? What? You
we
guys
should have,
met?
I think we should have played some music together. I don't know if accompaniment or what in 2012 or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, around that time.
Wow.
So
Small world.
Yes.
So what
So
about
yeah.
you, Lloyd? Uh, Do you
yeah,
have some influential figure in the reggae
definitely,
realm
man.
that influenced your music?
Yeah, man. Um,
Mhm.
as it is said, for me now, everything influence, good and bad, But I stay on the holistic side, I think I listen wide, and I think I need to do more. But there wouldn't be a one artist, but there for certain things, certain artists will stand out,
Mhm.
For me, it's roots music, definitely, music that really is connecting and touching,
Spiritual.
heart, mind,
Yeah.
and soul, I mean, definitely the
Mhm.
Britney Spears, the Toots, the Bob Marley, I mean, as well, the Steel Pulse, the Judy Mort, I Trees, and then you have some artists that don't really go the mainstream, and you have some iconic artists that stand out, like Lee Scratch Perry, he's something else, and certain artists just really, is like the big, like a hand, like the big finger, yeah. There's a sound that coming from St. Croix, the midnight sound, the bamboo station, the Desiree, they are, yeah, they have a special part in my heart, Yeah, the Midnight Band, the Akibeka sound, you know. It's a very mystic and iconic artist that, you know, a whole special and here, you know.
You know, I've never heard of that artist.
You
Yeah,
should.
I
Never
have
heard
to
of it.
agree. I have to agree to Midnight and Desiree are
Okay.
artists that I are also very near and dear to my heart. Like that is, especially when we talk about the spiritual aspect,
Mm-hmm.
I go to them. It's my Sunday church music. I
Yeah,
listen
man,
to.
that holistic music to feed the soul, you know. Touch it
Yeah.
really, you know. And
Alright. I noticed that both of you do yoga as well as like reggae music. So do you think there's a connection between the two? Like yoga and reggae, they're both like spiritual um, ways to connect and like relax and meditate. So what do you think draws you to reggae music and to yoga? Lloyd? What is the appeal
me,
of reggae music?
I mean, it's part of the experience that is happening within your circles, you know, the people you're connected with, you know. And as I said, the music it draw me to sound healing, and sometimes I facilitate the sound healing for the participants, you know. So it's what's happening within your circle, you know, what you see and the positive vibration, you know. You find a way that you can into put the two of them together, you know, and have a good experience, you know.
So sound healing is about connecting meditation with reggae.
Sound healing, is just using sound, you know, to tune up your being. I mean, check it out. That's what reggae music has been doing over the years, you know. Meditative music, you know. Even scientists go check out the music, and when them check it out, them say, wow, this music have a specific impact on the brain, you know, on the
Yeah.
brain, you know. And there was the sister Janine, she was one of the first I see bring the yoga and dub within the dub treatment. I think we perform at one of her dub treatment at one time, you know, but within this timing, she was one of the first that I see bring such to the fore, you know. And
I combine the two words. Yeah. Akosua, do you have anything to add about the relationship between meditation and reggae music?
I just think it's a beautiful combination. I think it makes a lot of sense, especially with the dub. Whenever I do my yoga classes, I always use dub music um, for, in the background. Um, and I loved experiencing that when I was in Jamaica, seeing how those two elements were growing closer together at that time until now. Um, I just think it makes a lot of sense, especially with the for me with the Kemetic yoga, right? So having the roots of yoga, the African roots of yoga, with roots music, it just makes sense.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're nearing the end. Um, what do you think is the international appeal of reggae music? I know that both of you connect with music because of it brings you closer to your roots in Africa, right? So why do you think people of all different races also connect with reggae music? They wouldn't have that connection in terms of ancestry. What about you, Akusia? Right. So why do you think reggae is so world has such a worldwide appeal?
I mean, that's something I ask myself all the time as well. A lot of people here, people from different walks of life that you would have never expected, men in suits, they go to reggae festivals and they can, let go and be free and whatever. I think reggae resonates with people because they associate freedom with it, and
Mhm.
being themselves. whatever that is for them. Uh, I was also, very closely raised with a German family. So, and they also love reggae. So it's, I think, yeah, because in a lot of Western countries, life is very, very, very boring. It has a strict, structure, and
Mm,
there is not a lot of outside experiences. So I think music, and then especially reggae, gives them, first of all, of course, some island vibes, and they associate that with freedom and like a more relaxed lifestyle. What I find very interesting also is that, a lot of Africans love reggae,
mm.
and they can deeply relate with Jamaican culture without ever having, visited Jamaica. So that's also always something I find very, very, yeah, very inspiring and very interesting how we connect with each other on that level. Mm.
What about
Mm-hmm.
you, Lloyd? What do you think makes reggae so internationally appealing?
Hmm. Well, the music, as the sister speaks, I have to agree. As I said, it's about liberation, liberating yourself, It's about the love, the self-love, you know, and giving the people a voice, about truths and about rights, and, be a sovereign being, be yourself, wake up and live, It's about, it's all about that connecting, just connecting to your true self and care for humanity, It's about that. It's about, yeah, it's about, it's about the vibration there, positive, I mean,
Everybody needs a little positivity in their life, right?
Yeah, man, that's what
Mm-hmm.
we're the world, breaking down the barriers, and have a nice
Mm-hmm.
time.
So reggae is not just for Jamaicans, it's for everybody. All right,
It's
so
it's
final
it's an
question.
international sound for everyone,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
recently I saw the Grammy last year and people were talking all sort of, crap. But when I check it out, we couldn't go into a cave and play the music and then maybe kill the people. I mean, yeah, that couldn't happen. So it's reggae, it's a gift to the world. Once I was
Mm-hmm.
talking and Ibo was there and people were saying that, oh, the music gone uptown and selling out. And he said, no, man, it's not really that the music gone uptown. The music will grow and spread. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what the music is all about. It's about growth, influence, and people are gonna love it and play it. And if we are not treating it as how it ought to be treated in a royal and respectable manner, other nations are going to take it up and do it. And I give thanks for them who play the music international, because we have about 5,000 reggae festival worldwide. How much we have in Jamaica here, and it's
Right.
conscious roots music being played here in Jamaica 24/7. Yeah, you have a lot of choice. So we say we give thanks for reggae because if you check it out, it came about in the 60s. So right now, reggae is what we call golden citizen. Yeah, she's a grand citizen. You check it out. So all those fruits we are reaping out now, because she is right now a grand mama, in the business. So people internationally are the fruits and the children of reggae. Yeah.
Yeah, there are different sub genres of reggae. So reggae is not just one thing. It can be so many things with so many
Yeah,
different people.
they call Jamaican music reggae everything. One professor identified that we have 8 genres. We have the mentor coming from, mentor. We have, I think we have blue beat before ska. So I don't know if blue beat, ska, rock steady, and within rock steady, and you have rockers, you have the dub music, you have Naya Bingi, and You have the dance hall, you know. Original, the dance hall was the hall, the auditorium, that space where you play the music, you know. So they say Jamaica have 8 genres, you know, but we call everything reggae, you know.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Unfortunately, that's the end of this episode. So today we discussed the experiences of 2 reggae artists, Akosua and Lloyd, and we heard a bit about the roots of reggae music, its impact on a person on an individual level in connecting to your roots as Black people, as well as a spiritual element to reggae music. And they also shared their experiences as musicians. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a comment down below, like, and subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening. And until next time, one love and welcome.
One love, one dub every time.
All right.
This has been an episode of the Vision Seekers podcast. Together we can create a society that benefits us all. Send us an email at thevisionseekers.podcast@gmail.com. Find us on YouTube and Instagram at The Vision Seekers Podcast. And follow us on Twitter at Vision Seekers JA. We look forward to hearing from you.